Today I really want to talk about anxiety. This entire video is going to be dedicated on the subject of anxiety. I know it really gets hard because I used to suffer from anxiety too, and it still exists somewhere in my life, but not as much as it used to. And I really want to mention the know-hows of, lessening this level of anxiety and alleviating the pain that really comes along with it in order to make your life better. First, I really want to talk about one of my personal experiences with anxiety. I really didn't understand it back then. It was a combination of teenage angst, also addictions, also pornography, also video gaming, and all those things that led to perverted thinking inside, to locked up thinking, feeling like my voices are kind of bouncing off the walls. And when they're talking to another person, they're so anxious that their voice actually trembles. And it shakes and it's flimsy and you don't sound persuasive. Nobody really wants to talk to you. People are giving you the stare. And you get more anxious. This is even more specific when it comes to presentations in school, in class. I completely get it because I also used to suffer from anxiety. When people suffer from depression, they're so much more likely to actually suffer from anxiety within. And in school, it was extremely hard for me to participate or to go to class because I was always anxious. So what I did at the time, which was kind of stupid if I think about it right now, is that they give us 3 minutes to move around classes, between classes. And so those 3 minutes, as soon as the class is over, I would run outside. I would kind of close the door, half close the door, and then with like a pencil or something, and then run to like one of the houses outside the school, and then I would smoke a cigarette or two even whenever my anxious levels got up there. And I think it was really bad for me because I think it exacerbated my symptoms, not actually alleviated at the time. But at the time I really had to do something, or I might have even gone crazy trying to cope with the anxiety and depression during those 15 minutes of class where everyone else was staring at me and I was dead. I was always putting my head on the desk. I was just always depressed, and I wasn't really talkative. I wasn't happy. I was depressed. It was very sad. So in class, we had 6 periods together, and I think it was math. I'd always stare at the girl and be drawing her on my notes, right, instead of paying attention to class. And I was thinking at the time, I should give this drawing to her. Then whenever I finished one drawing, I felt like it was so creepy, so I would just throw it out and never talk to her again. But I was always staring at her because I had a crush on her. I thought she was so cute. And one day, she actually came up to me. This one day, she just came up to me and she asked me for $1 because she's going to Dunkin' Donuts after this class, so she didn't have $1. So I said, I'll give you 10, just get me something. She got me, I think, a bagel or hash browns. And then she gave me the change all in quarters. I think it was $5 worth of quarters, and it was a sack of coins that was very heavy. And then this other girl said, she's screwing with you, which kind of implied that she's kind of into me, and if I just walked up and talked to her for a few seconds asking her how, and it might have kind of worked between us. But I was so anxious, I didn't know what to say, so I started to ramble about everything that was irrelevant to her. And I kind of messed it up, and I never asked her to go out with me. I never asked her to go to prom with me. So I went to prom with this other girl, who I wasn't really interested in. Anyways, that was it. One of my biggest anxiety problems. And also, I think anxiety really dwelled in my school years, especially because I was always filled with this anxiety that other people are looking at me, other people are judging me, other people are thinking and talking about me, they're laughing at me. It's just not true. All these anxieties I had were false. Dale Carnegie's books, he really mentions this awesome piece about anxiety that Once you realize that 90% of your worries don't turn to reality, they're not true, they're just false. They're just made up incognitations. They're just figments of your imagination. And only actually, not even 10%, actually like 1% maybe of your worries turn into reality, and everything else is actually better than you think. Then you start to live this life that is completely different. The quality of life just exponentially multiplies. That's growth. Growth isn't like adding. It's multiplying like this and goes through the ceiling, off the charts. Like it multiplies. It's the power of 2, power of 10, not multiplying by 2, but the power of 10. That's a huge difference if you know math, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't. I really want to talk about anxiety and how to deal with it now. So, how do you actually treat that problem? Okay, one of the life remedies I did is cutting down on cigarettes, video games, watching too much videos, too much entertainment, pornography, and all that's included in the bucket. Cutting that down and raising up, like say reading, playing soccer, exercising, and all those good things, right? So everything was balanced, and I kind of messed it up by kind of like getting addicted to a lot of things, and I was very anxious, so the confidence kind of like went down. So I was like thinking to myself, oh, so first let's just like lower this down as much as possible, start off with, and then kind of start to raise this level here for positivity, and then get rid, maybe somehow along the way, maybe my anxiety levels will just disappear. And that theory was what I had in mind when I first embarked on this process of transformation, this quitting of addictions, these quitting of vaping and everything. Also, I really want to mention that psychology today, psychiatry, is a very good and supportive tool for you if you're dealing with depression, if you're dealing with anxiety, because we have found as scientists that our brain has hormones, certain neurotransmitters that actually work to amplify your levels of satisfaction, your levels of gratitude, levels of happiness and cognition. And when those levels go down because of hormone imbalances, then whatever you try in your life, whatever life remedies in your life you do and you work on isn't going to work, because your brain's chemically imbalanced, and the chemicals need to be balanced from an exterior source through medication, through drugs, through therapy, and all those things do work. And you have to believe, you have to stop complaining, you have to stop blaming other people, stop thinking that your psychiatrist or your doctor is incompetent because they have probably studied 10 years of that field. They're all competent people, and just don't judge them because their characteristics, their personalities may be, intrusive. Anyways, trust in other people to help you, trust in God, trust in yourself, and everything will eventually work out for you. But just trust me when I say this: change or growth or exponential growth or success, these things are very, very elusive. That means that they're not going to be achieved in one day, because that's not possible. They will be achieved through many days, through years and years of practice and effort. So be patient, because if you embark on your Nofap journey, let's say for example, you won't be receiving benefits until like day 90 at the least. So please keep that in mind. Hit the subscribe button, and I hope you like this video.